Good morning. It's been a pretty busy start of the week. I got a huge delivery on Monday. Got some rebar, really big sheets of rebar. I think they're 6 meters by about 2.5 meters, 2.4. It was pretty delicate the way he got it into the back garden. A bit precarious. A few seconds there I thought he was going to take out the greenhouse. It was swinging around quite a bit. I was like, uh-oh. But he was really, really skilled and did a great job of getting in the back garden. Not really loving where he left them because it makes it difficult to cut. Yeah, not exactly the ideal cutting surface. But since I'm alone today, I'm going to just give it a go and cut up the hill. I would not recommend doing this. It's not safe. It's not a good idea. But it's what I got to do, so. Also got a bunch of bags of concrete and sand delivered to the garage. The bags were only half of what we were going to get. He discussed with me basically, he's like, you know, you've paid for delivery. I'm going back to the other truckload. We don't have to bring them right now. We can always bring them at a later date. So what I'm going to do is when I get kind of 2 bags left of concrete, or sorry, of gravel and sand, I'm basically going to give him a call up and say, hey, bring them on over. And then he'll bring the other ones. So that was nice. It was kind of, why have it all jammed in the garage when I don't really need to? If it's no cost, it doesn't cost me anymore, so why not, right? And then the unfortunate news is that when they delivered the bags of concrete, their pallet lift that goes on the crane, you know, I even had someone come around and pre-check the garage to make sure it'd be good, and they said, oh yeah, plenty big enough, it'd be great. Well, unfortunately, by about 6 inches or a foot, the pallet, which I guess is, what's that, 30 centimeters, the pallet lift wouldn't quite get into the garage. So they were like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, just leave it in the front and I'll move it in. Did a massive marathon of moving the bags from the edge of the garage into the garage and restacking it again. It was a lot of work. It was 150 bags. I think it's about 5,000 kilograms, which is a lot. Surprisingly, being the day after, I'm not too bad. I was surprised. I thought I'd be pretty wrecked by moving all that, but it bodes well for all the work I've got to do in the next few weeks, or many weeks actually, of pouring all this concrete. So luckily, I was able to get it all in, an hour and 45 minutes. I was really pushing, but it didn't hurt anything. I got to remember to bend with your knees, keep the weight towards your center core. Didn't do a great job of it, but even then, I was aware enough that I didn't hurt myself, which is fantastic. And done. So for next week, I've got my little concrete thing set up. I put it on some blocks. It looks like it's going to work well. I got a tarp under there, so in case I slop concrete everywhere, it's easy to clean up. But yeah, otherwise, I'm just going to take the rest of this week, focus on some of the wood, the forms on the edges where the concrete are, basically because it's been sitting there for so long. This must be a year. I did a lot of those forms about a year ago, and after backfilling them with the dirt, it's just slowly pushed the tops of the forms in a bit, so they no longer match up to being about 1 meter. I made sure everything was either 1 meter or just slightly more, so that I could, you know, have the tiles pretty good. I knew some of it would move, I just didn't realize how much it would move. So pretty much everything is anywhere from 1 centimeter to one place that's like 6 or 8 centimeters that it's pushed in, which is crazy. It just doesn't look like it, but I guess it's been so gradual, I've never been looking at it to say, oops. So I'm gonna go and either brace it and force them out, or in some cases I might have to pull the spikes out or move them further away and then put them back in again. So I'm going to be a day or so just kind of cleaning up that mess, making sure all the forms are good. It's mostly happened to the pathways, which kind of makes sense because they're the ones with the most dirt pressing against them. I'm also going to go around, and when I did the compressor plate or the packing plate, what you call it, whatever it is, when I did that, I think it's dug in places. So I'm going to go and just lightly rake and fill in some of the holes and get rid of the uneven areas. But overall, that was an easy process. I don't know if I'm doing it right. It didn't look to be that difficult to kind of use the Wacker Plate, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, basically, it's just going to be doing a bit more tidying up this week, and then hopefully either Friday or Saturday, I might take a day off, I'm not sure yet, might go to the beach. But yeah, other than that, I'm just going to be getting it ready. Sorry, I mean, Friday or Saturday, I may do a pour of a little section just to see, kind of have it in my mind of how much I'm going to be able to do every day. Can I do a ton or more? But we'll see. We'll just have to see how it works out. I've also cut the piece of rebar cage, I guess you'd call it, that I'm going to use. I'm going to stack two of them up and use them to reinforce where there's going to be a step up. About half of that will be under the ground, being forced this way by pressure into the concrete that'll be poured in front of it. Hopefully that's good enough to keep it good. It's such a small step, I think it won't be a problem, but I'm just going to over-engineer it a little bit just to make sure that it never moves. What else have I done today? Really, or sorry, this week. I've got some plastic crack things that I've bought. They seemed like they're going to work out okay. I've got some interesting chair stands, or rebar stands that you use. I guess they're called chairs. They're quite heavy duty and look like they're going to work. So I've just got to really go around and balance it all out, even out the gravel just a little bit more. And then I'm going to start cutting sheets of plastic and putting that down, and then using the rebar chairs, and then doing the rebar, and then putting the plastic strip on top. Don't know if I'll have to secure it or not. Probably not. I'm probably just going to have them resting on top as I pour, or worst case, wedged in between the edges of the wood. But yeah, it should be fine. I mean, the things are only just to kind of basically, the plastic things are basically just to allow controlled cracking of the concrete, because concrete always cracks, even with rebar, even if you get fiber in it, stuff like that. It's going to crack at some point. So this kind of just says, okay, concrete, crack here. And that way, when I do the tiles on top, which are very sensitive, I can cut them kind of in tandem with where those joints are and line them up with those. And then basically it'll crack on where a grout will be. Grout mark, or whatever you call it, the stuff between the tiles when it's external. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the plan for that. Making some good progress. Hopefully 6 weeks, probably 8 weeks, I'll be done all this backyard work, which would be fantastic. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend.